Hey, thanks for clicking. Are you ready for the ultimate tutorial on how to move abroad? If you are, stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to take a deep dive into the number one hurdle that I see people struggling with, which is how to nail the best place to move to. I'm going to walk you through the steps that you need to take to master choosing the ideal destination for your needs, and that's based on my experience in moving to multiple locations around the world and also helping hundreds of people make their moves abroad too. And for those of you who stay tuned to the end, there's a handy little bonus waiting for you that I know you're going to love. Step one is to define what is it that you're looking to achieve from your move abroad. People move for a multiplicity of reasons, whether it's better quality of life, to change their job prospects, or just they want better weather. So what's going to work for one person isn't necessarily going to work for you. And one of the things that I really think that this is the most fundamental first step is that moving abroad, living abroad isn't always easy. There's going to be times where you're having really awful days and you might wonder, why on earth did I leave everything I knew to move somewhere completely different? And when those days come, because I guarantee that they will, the one thing that is going to keep you in place and keep you kind of moving forward is knowing your why. Why did you move? Because once you're clear on that, and once you know in the research process that that motivation is enough to move and leave everything behind, that really is going to be your North Star. One of the things that I really love to work on with people one-on-one and in my group coaching clients is really to use this opportunity to get centered in a sense of purpose. If you're going to go through the hassle of uprooting everything, make the move that you are about to embark on as momentous, as fulfilling, as awesome as possible. Really be unapologetic about what it is that you're trying to achieve. And that takes some time. That takes some doing. Quite often, the motivations for leaving might be very much to do with what you're unhappy about, what you want to leave behind. But what is it that's really drawing you to where you want to be? Or what is it that needs to be there in order for you to live in the way that you know that you are just going to glow and thrive and be the most awesome version of yourself? Which leads me into point two. Listing your priorities really is about delving a little deeper. So point one, listing your goals, is about the grand vision. Point two is really delving into the nitty-gritty. What are your goals? What is it that you're looking to achieve? And also, what are your non-negotiables? Because there are many compromises that you could end up making that might not be right for you. For example, I moved to Grenada in the West Indies, and quite often when I'm doing consultation calls with people, they'll say, you know, I've given you this endless list of places that I want to consider, that I want to research, but I'm noticing that you haven't encouraged me to put Grenada on my list. Why is that? My perspective is that I don't encourage anyone to do anything other than what is right for them. I live on a tiny island of 120,000 people. It is small, it is hot, it doesn't have a lot of the amenities that many people are looking for. Many people want a version of the US or the UK or Canada with better weather and nicer beaches. Grenada as a destination is a lot more complex than that, which is why I wouldn't list it for someone who has a list of priorities and non-negotiables such as a multiplex cinema, an endless list of international cuisines to dine from on a nightly basis, great theatre, you know, all the stuff that you would find in a developed, thriving city, you're not going to find on this island. And that's why what's right for me isn't going to be right for you. So again, be totally unapologetic about listing out what is it that you really need. And that's a mix of what you have currently that you know that you're going to want to have elsewhere, and also what it is that you know that you need in place. So whether it's clean air or safety or great healthcare, because you know that you have underlying healthcare issues, all of those things really are just going to knock a number of places off the list, which absolutely is what we want to be doing when it comes to moving abroad and picking the right destination for you. Because it might feel like having an endless list of options is beautiful, but trust me, the reason that you haven't moved and the reason that you're uncertain is because you need to put the blinkers on, narrow down and focus so that we can research more efficiently. Point three, listing your options, really is about narrowing down even deeper into the nitty-gritty. So you have the vision, You have the goals. Now let's work with what's actually possible, because as much as we might think we can go anywhere in the world, there are little things called visas and residency requirements and citizenship requirements that again will shape the options that we have. Quite often folks have quite a bit of uncertainty about what scenario is best going to fit their needs. Quite often someone might say to me that they want to move to a Caribbean island to get a job. We talk through how easy is it to get a work permit? What are the requirements that your particular country might have? Do you really need citizenship? Might residency be an option? Is a digital nomad visa going to be best for your needs? All of those elements, the hard stuff, the logistical stuff, really are areas to make sure that you're absolutely certain on. One, so that you can start budgeting, and two, again, so that you can start shifting to make sure that what you need is going to be applicable in the place that you're moving to. An example of this is that many Americans are understandably on edge about the situation that is evolving. So even since last year, many people have been in touch with me looking for options, looking for a plan B when it comes to residency. They want to know that if they need to move, they already have their residency in place. There aren't going to be any issues about them accessing services, about making sure that if they take on a lease or buy a property, that they have a right to reside there. So again, all of these elements are really important for you to map out, but also to thoroughly understand, so that you make sure that you are allocating your time and most likely your money in the avenues that really fit your needs and the direction that you want to head in. So step 4 is to narrow your search. You saw that one coming, didn't you? I'm all about having as short a destination list as possible, because ultimately I don't want you to just rock up in a place and live there, although you do whatever you want, but I advise having a little option to taste test. And if you're going to go and check out 3 countries or 4 cities as opposed to having to backpack around 12, that's just going to make your deep dive into those locations that much more efficient than having an endless list of countries to go and check out, and that just delays your exit time even more, which is fine if you're not in a rush to move, if you're not particularly bothered, if you're like take it or leave it as to whether I move abroad. Choose a path that suits you. But if you are frustrated with where you are, if you want to move, and I'm imagining you are because you're this far into the video, really, again, putting those blinkers on, narrowing down your list, crossing off the ones that don't meet your criteria, absolutely is the way to go. And at the end of this video, I will share a link to an event that I have taking place. It's an online workshop that shows you how to go through this process, but also gives you the tools and resources you need so that you can research more efficiently. So when it comes to the point of narrowing your search, there's a matrix that you can use to just really make it exceptionally simple. Quite often, moving is an emotional thing. It's something that we're passionate about. It's something that we dream about, but making sure to do the research, to research effectively so that by the time you move, you are certain, you don't have any fears, you know what it is that you're walking to, absolutely is the path that I would recommend that you take. And step 5 is to research the cost of living, to understand how your slimmed down list of destinations, how each one of them fits your budget, fits the sort of ideal lifestyle that you want to live, and how feasible is it for you to make that happen in the list, in the destinations that you have left. Many people say start with your budget and choose the destinations that fit your budget. Now that absolutely is one approach, but going back to my unique approach to all of this is if you're moving abroad, if you're starting all over again, essentially, I want you to be as bold and as daring as you can be in being unapologetic about going after what you really want, and to limit yourself by your budget. That seems like not the best approach to take. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you can do, and I think you deserve a little better than that. So to let your purpose lead and let all the elements slot into place and then fine tune, okay, how realistic is this? How does each one of these locations enable me to live well, enable me to thrive? That's the order that I would suggest you to do it in. Because quite often you might want to go to a particular country, but there are certain cities within that country that will be more budget friendly. For example, if someone was looking to move to the UK, I personally wouldn't advise that, but if you were, there's a huge difference between living in London versus living in Blackpool, to living in Brighton compared to living somewhere on the outskirts of Manchester. So once you know the direction that you're heading, there are little twists and turns, little jiggles that we can take, which is why I suggest saving step 5 of researching the cost of living to later on in the process, because you really want to do a deep dive. You do want to run your figures and make sure that everything aligns. And step 6, we finally got there, is to choose your place. Once you know where you're going to, that is when you can go even deeper in starting to make connections. Where are the groups where other foreigners who are moving to that destination hang out? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on their own little apps? Are there radio stations that you can start listening to that will give you an idea of the vibe of the place? Where are the yoga studios that you want to hang out in? Which is likely to be your local deli that you go to pick up whatever goodies that you want? This is where the real joyous part of it comes in. And also where you can figure out what it is that you want to check out on your scouting trips. And as I mentioned, this workshop coming up has a bonus, an early bird bonus of the ultimate scouting trip planner, so that you have all the information that you need to really discern the key elements that you need once you're in situ, because everything can look pretty good on paper. And trust me, the process that you will go through as a result of these steps is going to put you in a much better position than most. But really, boots on the ground, really feeling the vibe of the place, really connecting to people and checking it out for yourself is something that I would 100% recommend. Taking time to not be in holiday mode, but to be in living, breathing, this is potentially my home mode, really is a great state of mind to check out a destination and assess how well it meets your needs. And those are the 6 steps. Now, you made it to the end. You're smart, you're dedicated, you're focused on making it happen. I absolutely encourage you to watch this video again and again. But if you know that you're serious about making a move, and you know that you haven't made the progress that you need to, that you are 7 years along from knowing that you want to move and not really that much closer to making it happen, I'd love to invite you to join me on the workshop that I have. It's on Zoom, so wherever you are in the world, you can join. And really, it's a 2-day deep dive into all of the elements that we've discussed here, so that by the end of the session, you have an action plan that will help you to get to where it is that you need to go to. You're not going to be going around in circles. You're not going to be watching endless YouTube videos. You're going to know where you want to move, and you're going to start putting together an action plan that really gets you clear on how you need to exit and what you need to put in place. And on top of that, because you stayed tuned all to the end, and because I know that you're going to put this into practice, I'm going to offer you a 20% discount. So that will be available for the next week. The link will be below, but the link to the event is in the bio, as is the discount code. And I love to see you there, because really, as much as the YouTube channel is awesome, my passion really is helping people to make moves. It's not really so much for like entertainment or education. It's really about action and being part of a group, being part of a community, being part of so many people, all with the same intention, all set on moving, really is an invaluable resource when it comes to making moves. I wish I had it. I've held space for other groups of people looking to move, and the magic that happens in those spaces is so inspiring. I wish I could have had it, but I can't. I'm already here, but I can create it for you. And if that's something that you know that you will find valuable, people to hold you to account, people to inspire you, and a group to share resources, information, definitely sign up. Make sure that you choose the right level for the workshop, because there will be an ongoing community for folks who are in the process of moving and want a like-minded group of people around them. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if there's any queries about my approach, I'll be live online, and you'll be joined by many, many other people also in the same journey as you. So I look forward to seeing you there, and happy relocation.